Okay guys, I know I've been gone a while, but I've actually been getting a lot of questions lately on what I use to keep my black powders in factory new condition. And I use a couple of different methods, both old and new. And before we get into that, I just want to say that this is something that I've developed over a long time. I've always loved black powder and I've shot it for many years. And I've always been crazy about keeping guns clean like they would have been back in the day. I get a lot of people, especially reenactors, telling me, well, you can't use modern solvents because, that's not what they would have used back then. That's not, historically accurate. Well, that may be true, but back in the day they would spend 4 and 5 hours to make sure that their firearm would pass muster to get it that clean. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't have 4 or 5 hours to spend on cleaning a gun. So again, this is just something I've developed over the years. It's definitely not what I started out with, but it's what I used and it's what I've been using for the past couple of years, and it works good for me. For those of you who are just starting, I've just got some assorted stuff out here that I use. This is a nipple wrench for using on a caplock rifle. And you'll just need assorted things like this. Is good for muskets. It's got a vent pick there and then a flathead screwdriver there for removing the lock. This is just a piece of deer horn. You use it to sharpen the flints with. You use it to break the edges. You'll need the various jags for your different calibers. This is for a 75 caliber, but this is actually a 69 caliber tip, but it's for a 75 caliber. You want to go a little bit under the actual size, otherwise when you put a cotton patch on, it will get stuck down there in the bore. But so we got our different jags. This here is a patch puller. If you get a patch stuck in the bottom of a rifle, let's say you're cleaning it or something, it's got those wires that go down there and grab it. Here's a ball puller, and it is basically just a screw that goes onto the end of a ramrod, and this works. I've pulled 4 or 5 balls out of both a rifle, and I've pulled a ball out of this pistol because it just refused to fire, and I ended up having to pull a ball out of it. Just one time though. And then occasionally you'll need a good brush to brush out, sometimes if you've been shooting quite a bit, and I mean quite a bit. Most people don't shoot more than 5 or 10 rounds to their gun, their black powder firearm. When I go out, I shoot 40 or 50, sometimes even, like the Sniper rifle, 80 rounds at a time. And, when you get that high in your round count with black powder, you're going to need a brush to get it out. But if you don't, you don't really need it. You can just do it with cotton patches. So basically what I do, and I get a lot of crap for this too, but I find the only way to get the barrels clean to my standard is I remove them from the stock, which for a banded rifle or a banded musket like this one where just barrel bands hold it down and a tang screw, that's not a big deal. But for like a Brown Bess where it's pinned in, people start to get real butthurt when you do that because they think you'll ruin your gun, but you won't. Just be careful when you take those pins out that they're not digging in to the stock or gouging it out or anything. But I find it's always easier to remove the barrel, and I take it into the tub and I get the shower head and I just spray water directly down the barrel, hot water, and that flushes out probably 80% of everything right there. And after that, I just start spraying this stuff down the barrel. So Thompson Center number 13 bore cleaner. This stuff, it hits black powder and it just starts dissolving it, and it's not corrosive too. Like a lot of people I've heard use Windex or ammonia. Ammonia will also corrode your bore. It's also corrosive. It will kill the corrosive salts in black powder, but it in itself is corrosive. So this isn't, but it kills black powder. So I'll use that and I'll swab it down with 100% cotton patches. These were cut up from old diapers and shirts and whatnot, and I've just kept the bag to put them in. I bought these originally and they were cotton, but I always like cotton patches. 100% cotton, they do the best. So after I have it all swabbed out and it's all nice and clean and shiny on the inside, I'll apply bore butter to the inside of it. And what this is going to do is it's going to season your bore like the skillet or a frying pan. so nothing will stick in there. You'll be able to get a lot more rounds, you'll notice, after you've seasoned it. It's going to take, it's going to take several trips and quite a bit of ammunition and then cleaning to season it. But once you got it seasoned, man, it'll just go and go. You'll be able to shoot, and then you'll also notice that even, let's say you get home and you're not able to clean the gun till the next day, you'll notice that your bore won't rust. So I'll use this on the inside of the bore. I never touch the inside of the bore with any kind of solvent, because that will destroy any kind of seasoning you've built up. But again, that rule doesn't apply to all firearms, because this Snider rifle, which is an original, by the way, it was made in 1871, doesn't like the bore butter. It will rust with the bore butter. It wants, the solvent inside its bore to keep it from rusting. The Brown Bess, however, and all my other muskets like the bore butter, and my black powder pistols also. So why do I have this out here? Because I use this on the outside. Barricade Rust Protection is an excellent oil to use because it's thin and it's a penetrant, and it doesn't like glob up or anything like that, and it will protect the metal really well. And believe me, I know with black powder, if this stuff didn't work, you'd be able to see it immediately, because I didn't start out using this. But I know this stuff works because it stands up to black powder beautifully. It keeps my steel in a beautiful condition, and I highly recommend this for both black powder and any other gun you might have. But I only use this for the outside. I spray it on the barrel, on the locks, just to keep everything from rusting, because with muskets, most of the time you have exposed steel, no finish. So that's an excellent product to use. And as you can see, this gun here maybe has 300 rounds in it, and you can't tell. It's like brand new. I'm trying to get the inside of the bore here. I'm moving it around, but it doesn't look like it's gonna show without a flashlight. But I can't hold the gun and the camera at the same time. Let's see if we can get a view inside the Brown Bess here. See, as you can see in there, my Brown Bess, the barrel looks just like the day I bought it. Very shiny. And this Brown Bess I've fired, probably over 1,000 rounds through now. So it's been shot a crap load, and it's gone to reenactments too, where I wasn't able to clean it immediately. But as you can see, it looks pretty dang good. Now the Snider barrel is much smaller, 58 caliber, as compared to the Brown Bess, which is 78. But we'll see. We'll see what we can see here. We're not gonna be able to see it. It's about the same size as the other one. If I had a flashlight that I could hold, I'd show you guys. But yeah, it's clean. I can show you from the breech here, actually. So as you can see, it's clean. But yeah, that's what I use. It works great. And with black powder, every gun is different. That's one of the neatest things about black powder. Each gun has really its own personality, and you just got to play with them, Try different things, experiment, and find what gets it clean and keeps it clean, and what works for you. But yeah, any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. I've been really busy with work lately, but I try to get to everybody's comments, and I hope this helps some of y'all out. And thank you guys, and have a great evening.